It's Foul Territory presented by Fox 1. I want everyone to comment who they think is going to represent the AL in the World Series.
Seattle Mariners.
Seattle Mariners.
Chat, let us know. We're going to cover the close and the not so close LCS matchups. This is a warning to everyone, kids, adults, senior citizens. It's Friday, third show of the week for Todd Father sitting next to me. So I'm just throwing a warning out there. That's it. I'm not saying a warning for anything. Language should generally still be clean except during commercial breaks. I'm just putting a general blanket out there that whatever we say over the next 2 hours, I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
Thank you.
You do chest today?
Not yet.
It looks pretty good.
It does. Thank you. Last night, actually. So it's still carrying over.
Like Tarzan today.
12 hours later.
Love it.
Kratz is jealous.
Kratz, you can't see your chest. All right. Oh, I see a movement though.
He is one of those guys.
This is why I wear black, because you can't tell whether I have one or I don't have a chest. So there's movement in there. Look.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah,
I see it. Adam's apple was moving. Do you remember
Todd, your best features right here.
Oh, thank you.
Your best
very much.
features right
really
here.
nice.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
I need to shave too. Sorry.
Terry Tate,
No.
office linebacker. Google it, kids. It's really funny.
All right.
I don't know. For some reason, it just came to mind. I think he did what Kratz did just now. So anyway, let's talk about the LCS series that we have going on. One is close. One is not.
Ooh.
Charging the mound.
We are charging the mound, powered by the great Arena Club Card Marketplace. So do you want me to give you a little nugget to kick this off?
Please, I love nuggets.
Okay.
Extra sauce.
Yeah, I got a lot of sauce to this one because there have been 41 occurrences in a best-of-7 series in MLB history with a team down 3-0. How many times has a team come back to win the series?
One.
Still just one.
Yeah.
2004
Red
Red
Sox.
Sox. How about this? You might not have this one.
Before you go, I was at game 6 and game 7 of that series.
Really?
Actually, I got a story. Can I tell you it?
Yeah.
Or no? It'd take me like 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. I'm at Rutgers University. Let's go, kid.
Let's go, baby.
My buddy goes, hey, listen, well, I'm going online to look for tickets. Maybe if I get them, we'll go. I'm like, great, whatever. Buys them, $125. I'm like, steal, bleachers, creatures. We get there. The guy takes the tickets. He goes, I'm like, oh, no. He's like, let me just try one more. Nope. He's like, these aren't tickets for these games. I'm like, stop it, bro. We got gypped. $125 in college. You're like, no. He's like, hold on, let me see. Dude, these are game 7 tickets. I'm like, oh my God. Screaming left and right profanities to my buddy. I said, what are you doing? There's going to be no game 7, blah, blah, blah. Guy sees us yelling. He goes, yo, buddy, I got 2 tickets for you. What do you need? I said, talk to me. We start scooting, scattling, talking about what we have to do. I'm like, bro, I got $60. Take it or leave it. You know me. You bring me to a farmer's market, you give me $20, I'll get 60 things and bring home. Next thing you know, he goes, deal. Give me 60, $120 for 2 tickets. They win game 6. I said, dude, we're coming back game 7. We saw both games. Pretty cool.
Boston.
Pretty cool to see both games.
Yeah, the history of it. And you got a little 2-for-1,
and we were in the
basically.
bleacher seats, which was,
But were they devastated?
What?
Were they devastated?
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I mean, you were there witnessing history, but
listen, thinking back on it though, like how we got there and everything else, I know we just went through everything, and now Claudia's going to kill me right now for all this, but it was pretty cool. Sorry.
That's cool.
It's worth it.
But
That's the other
it's
thing,
only
kids.
Boston's been the only one.
This is what Scott said, kids. There might not be language, but you still got to go to class, kids, okay? Enjoy college. Todd went to class. He almost got his degree.
It was that night. I didn't have any night classes those 2 days.
You can't all tell your parents, I'm going pro. It doesn't matter, because I have some unfortunate news for those of you that think you're going pro. You have a shot, but it's unlikely. Most don't make it. I'm just being real.
But
Okay.
Keep working. Kratzy, tell him. Keep working, baby.
I will.
All right, let's reset. Ready? Down 3-0 in a best-of-7. 40 of 41 have taken the series if they've got the lead. How many sweeps out of those 41 3-0 opportunities?
Oh, closest wins an Arena Club card, maybe.
Okay.
15.
I'm going to say, man, say 23.
31 out of 41.
I win the card.
Closest two. Are you surprised, Kratz, that the
It's a lot.
Dodgers are going to take down the Brewers in 4 games?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not surprised about that. I'm talking about history. I'm
I
not
know,
surprised
I know.
about
I'm
that.
tying it into what we're talking about right now, but chances are Shohei Ohtani is able to shut the door on the series, and they'll have a week's vacation.
This couldn't be working out better for the Dodgers. I mean, how many teams go to the 4th game? And I mean, think about our game 4 last night. Max Scherzer, like, I don't know, maybe you get 3 innings out of him. That would be good. 4 would be elite. Like, you're going in like doomsday kind of thinking. And the Dodgers are like, well, actually, we're just going to take Shohei to his pitch count because it's Shohei Ohtani. That's how deep this Dodgers team is, and they look unstoppable.
Even winning a 3-1 game, you know what I mean? It just seems like, I don't know. The Brewers, they had a little bit of life and they didn't do much, but at the same time, it just seems like one good inning for this Dodger team's putting everybody away. And everybody talks about their bullpen and everything else. Guys are coming, and they're coming in. What is it? 3 games against the Brewers. What is it? 4 runs they've given up? I could be off. Maybe, right, Kratzy?
Yeah,
That sounds right.
Yeah, 4 runs in 3 games. It's crazy. 2-1. Crazy, absolutely crazy. I give credit. I give credit to them. They're just, and it's different players too, which is even better. So we talk about guys that need to get hot. You saw a guy like Tommy Edman struggling, and all of a sudden getting a big knock. So we can dive all the way into this, but people thought the Dodgers were like, oh man, look at this, San Diego's going to catch them, and during the season, you know how it went back and forth, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, doesn't matter. They're winning this by 3, 4, 5 games, and they'll be just fine. So it's fun to watch.
We got a comment from CCB in the chat. Scott, I think the difference with the Red Sox comeback is they had Pedro and Schilling. The Brewers don't have that. Bingo. I completely agree. When you look at the Brewers in this series, you're like, how did they get this far? With all due respect, how did they get this far? Smoke and mirrors pitching going on here. And the bullpen's good, but
they crushed the division. I thought in their division they did pretty well. I mean, I don't know, man. I'll let Kratzy take most of this. I mean, they have some ball players. Nobody that's going to blow you. I mean, Churio's a really good ball player. Nobody, all these names that you have there, they're not going to be like, wow, yeah, this guy's going to take over games. Like, yeah, they're going to do well, but at the same token, they're an okay ball club. Let's just be honest. They're okay against when it comes to a team like the Dodgers. Okay, so don't take words out of my mouth. When it plays teams like a Dodgers or, a Toronto or a Seattle team like the best of the best, yeah, they're just okay.
I'm just going to read some Twitter posts that are now commenting on what you just said, Todd. Okay, Todd hates the Brewers. Todd, what about our starting rotation? What about the fact that we won 97 games? What about the fact that in this series, Bryce Terang, Christian Yelich, 2 of their key lefties in their lineup, and they've been facing, besides Blake Snell, they're going to have faced 3 right-handed starters, like guys that you're like, okay, these guys got to step up, haven't been stepping up. King Vaughn has not been that guy. Like they haven't stepped up offensively, but I'll kind of double down on what I said last night post-game, because I think a lot of people on Twitter mistook what I said, saying that, it's because of the opener that they're losing and they've scored 1 run in 2 games and 2 runs in another game. Like, no. That's not why I'm saying they're losing. The pitchers have done a great job for them, for the most part. They've done a great job overall. But the fact that you go into a playoff series and you go, okay, we're going to look at our leaders. We're going to look at our manager. We're going to look at our front office. We're going to look at our coaches. We're going to even look at our superstars. Who looks nervous? Well, Christian Yelich doesn't look nervous. I know he's not doing well. Bryce Terang doesn't look nervous. Okay, so now we're going to look at our front office and manager. Oh, well, they must not think our starters are good enough. So we're like concocting a new way of getting these outs. I guess there's something we got to be nervous about because there's got to be something. You're supposed to play all these games like it's any other game. And I'm not saying the openers have lost them the game. I'm saying the idea that, well, we got to play this differently. We got to play these games differently by starting an opener is forward facing for all the players to see, like, there must be something different instead of, you know what? We're just going to go out and play our game. Glasnow is going to walk us. We're going to take our walks. We're going to steal bases. We're going to get base hits up the middle. We're going to do things that we've done all year because our entire environment looks exactly the same besides the adrenaline that I'm feeling. And that's why I said the openers just maybe put some little psyche in a really good team's head. I disagree with Todd. I don't think they're just okay. I think they're a really good team. You don't win 97 games in the big leagues without being a really good team. I don't care if you're in the Central or not.
They're not peaking at the right time, though. There were times when, I talked about this last night, they had too many starters, and they trade away a guy who's a 4 or 5 starter because they don't have room for him in the rotation. They're not in that spot right now. So that's part of it. By the way, Kratz, that was an epic clapback because there were a lot of people like, oh, that's not why they're losing. Just can't hit. Yeah, no kidding. We're aware of that. We did a 35-minute post-game show last night. Do you want us to just go on the show and say, welcome to FT Live post-game, Brewers can't hit, and we'll see you tomorrow? Yeah, we're going to give you something else. You want the player perspective? If Kratz is on a team right now and they're like, hey, you know what we did in the regular season? Wipe that. We're not as good as this team, so we're going to do totally different things. How do you think that affects the confidence of the current ball club? It makes sense.
Somebody asked me before the first playoff game I was going to start in because I played in a game. I came in, I didn't start, but when I started in the first playoff game, they go, are you nervous? And I was like, nervous for what? They were like, for the game. Like, are you nervous? I was like, I got a lot of adrenaline going, yes. But they said, well, aren't you nervous once you get out there? I was like, once I get out there, that's the calm time. If you asked me to go play left field in the first game of the playoffs, this guy would be nervous. I would definitely be nervous. Essentially, you're trying to take away any kind of nerves or anything awkward or different from the regular season because you've done it 162 times. You've done your practice. You take ground balls every single day. Now you add a little wrinkle into it. Maybe that affects some of these guys that are like control the zone really well, hitting, and now they're going out of the zone. And for people who say, screw you, they just stink. I'm like, okay, well, you're probably not listening. For people who want to hear the player's perspective, it has to be an environment where you're able to just harness that adrenaline and then take it to the promised land because they got all the way here. They should do everything exactly the same, in my opinion.
Let me bring up one other component, and I agree with everything you said. I think one of the most underrated tweets during the whole postseason that got barely any love is from Mark Carrig, who writes for The Athletic for years and is an editor there now. He said, man, did every player in this postseason not get a scholarship offer /scouted/drafted? Oh. And this wasn't a knock on Joe Davis. He was more knocking like the baseball storylines. He said every time Joe Davis starts reading a player's bio, it begins with, he went to 3 Zephyr Hills Junior College in South Dakota and didn't get any looks until he started on the local poultry factory team. Here comes the 2-1. It's so good. It's so good, right?
It does.
You get some of that with the Brewers. You get some of that with the Blue Jays, of course, which is what they're covering right now on the Toronto side. I guess there's a little with that Seattle, like Leo Rivas, whatever. Anyway, the point I'm bringing up here is there are neglected players on the evil empire, which is the Dodgers now, by the way. The Dodgers draft and develop well. They're able to find scrap heap guys. They do all of that, right? But what they also do is take legendary franchise players and say, hey, the team that had you first easily could have kept you and decided not to. They are stupid. Welcome to the Dodgers. Hi, Mookie Betts. The Red Sox easily could have kept you. You said it yourself on this show. They kept shorting you. Hi, Freddie Freeman. The amount that you guys had a difference with Atlanta versus Freddie and his representation is about how much they make in 1 or 2 home games during the regular season, right? You got any more you'd like to add on for us, Kratz? I just wanted to start with the foundation.
Tyler Glasnow. could have stayed where he was because he wasn't able to, because of his health issues, he wasn't able to command a massive contract, so he could have stayed with the Rays. Blake Snell, we all know what his drama happened. He didn't have to go, like, what did he get, 170 million, and I think it was deferred, so it was more like
It's like 150-ish. Yeah, plenty of teams.
Million.
Any team can afford that contract, and most teams the offseason before said, and this was him coming off a brilliant year, right? They were like, nah, not worth it.
Well, he was coming off a slow start because he missed spring training, and then he ended up figuring it out. But the year before is when he came off of the brilliant year, and everybody said, I'm nervous. Okay, well, you know who's not nervous? The team that's sitting 3-0 right now, and people are going to complain. It's all about the money, all about the salary cap, all that stuff. Every one of these players was available. They were available to be had. Max Muncy was taken years ago off the DFA scrap heap. It's about believing in the players that you have, believing in the system that you have, and now they've built this thing that they have in LA that guys want to come to. So now, you know what sucks for the rest of baseball? Is you're going to have to pay me more to go somewhere else. If the Dodgers offer me the same money, why would I not want to go play for the Dodgers? Why would I not want to listen to Kike Hernandez say, I have offers from other teams, but I told my agent, really the only place I want to go is LA.
Very true.
Mic drop. Kratz was on fire this segment.
Yeah, I let him go.
If you agree, please comment as you're watching. Yeah, and coming up next, we'll get a heat check on Kevin Pillar, who's been on fire talking about what's going to happen in the ALCS. But first, arenaclub.com/foul. Use the code FOUL for 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase. We talk about them all season long. If you're into buying, selling, trading cards, ripping packs, this is the spot to do it. FT Fam, ALCS talk next. Hey, we're back. Jackson Churio, I wanted to ask you guys about him. Have you ever seen that situation pop up? On the broadcast, they were like, oh, he's cramping. And we were talking before our postgame show, like, is that a cramp? That looks bad. And then he hops off and he said, yeah, it actually was a cramp. And he's back in most likely for the next game. We don't have official word, but most likely playing. Have you ever seen that? The hop off?
I've never seen it, no, but there's been crazier things. I can't.
Kratz has a conspiracy theory.
I can't see it. No, but yeah, it's something different. You've never seen it before. I mean, get some electrolytes in you and keep going. I think you got to find a way to fight through that if it was a cramp.
Toradol. What do they give them these days? What do they pop them with? What do you got, Kratz?
Toradol's good.
No, I don't think there's. He don't need no Toradol for a. It's an NFL game. It's just the playoffs. Nobody's really trying in the playoffs, bro. Like, I'm surprised he came out. But think about the fact that if he's never cramped up before, maybe he thought this was the worst thing in the world. Think about, like, I've never seen anybody cramp up and just be like, that kind of feels bad. I'm still cramping right now. No, everyone's like, what the kid? It's terrible. Yeah. So coming out of the game, I don't know. That would be a Churio question.
Okay. Don't you feel like post-series it's going to come out like, oh, he was in much worse shape than you think?
Definitely could.
We said cramp, but by cramp we meant he re-aggravated the pull or whatever. No? You don't think so, Kratz? You think it was just a cramp and then it went away?
Not on your back leg. Oh, it clearly didn't go away. I mean, he was hopping off the field, but he couldn't bend his leg. That's why I thought in the postgame show, I thought it was a cramp, and you guys were like, no way. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But to me, I think, yeah, you want to stay. You got to want to stay in that game any way possible. And the right leg, I've seen guys pull their hamstring on their front leg hitting, never on their back leg. I've gotten a cramp swinging on my back leg before. I've done it. Hot summer game, right leg, right hammy cramps up. You're like, ooh, don't like that. Something bit me.
He's sizzling today. They need Churio, by the way. Their best bat right now.
He'll be back.
Oh, wow. Kevin Pillar dressed to impress. Looking fantastic. Damn, KP, you look good. You clean up nice. All right, so
I wasn't ready.
I got
That is
everyone
good.
fooled. I got everyone fooled.
wow, that is good. I like that. Nice tailored little pocket
Yeah.
square, matching the tie nicely. Beauty. All right, so you can, of course, catch KP all over the TVs up in Toronto and up in Canada, I should say. But for now, we get 10 minutes to talk this out. And it's not just Q&A. Let's just kick it around, okay? But KP, I want to start here because I remember a 2-0 series lead for the Seattle Mariners, and you said things are about to get funky. Good call. Blue Jays won the next two. How does it get funky from here as a best of three?
It doesn't. It doesn't get funky anymore.
Oh,
I think the series is over. Hey, Todd, it's great to see you, but I was really looking forward to seeing AJ today too because he gave me great advice when I get into this media business that you got to be your authentic self. You got to tell the truth. Some people are not going to like what you said, and I took his advice and I said what I said, and I got buried by a lot of Seattle fans calling me a homer, blah blah. But that was my honest opinion. That's how I really felt, and it's coming true right now. But to answer your question, I think the funkiness is gone. I think it's over.
wow.
Finished.
Wow.
I'm changing my lock for after the game. KP is selling me. KP is selling me.
Well, give us more, Kratz. Like we did a
I
post-game
just-
show. Yeah, go KP. What do you think? Why do you say that?
just-
First, back it up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just watching this offense, and it's just relentless. It's 1 through 9, and yeah, we could talk about Vladdy, what he's doing, but it's every single person every night contributing. Their quality of their at bats, I've never seen anything like it. You know, I even went back and watched old playoff games that I was a part of, and I played in. I'm like, there was holes in those lineups. You know, I was one of those holes. I could have my day where I could go out and get my couple hits, but the quality of my at bats throughout the playoffs were just so up and down. 1 through 9, no matter who they're putting in there, whatever button Schneider puts in. Like last night, he decides, you know what, Santander's back's not good. We're going to replace him on the roster. Hey, let's play a guy in right field who hasn't been out there in a month. Goes out there, makes 3 amazing defensive plays, hits an opposite field RBI. IKF is inserted in the lineup at second base, hasn't played at all this series. Gets the rally started with a double down the left field line, has another hit, has a sacrifice bunt. It's just relentless. And then when you watch the Seattle offense, it kind of feels like what I talked about with the Phillies lineup. It looks like they have a ton of talent in their lineup, and it's like each one of you just go out and do whatever you think is best to try to slug. Where it looks like the Blue Jays lineup, that doesn't look, I know for a fact because I've talked to them, they have a very collective approach on how they want to attack a pitcher on any given day. What you saw they did 2 nights ago, they had 18 hits, and all 18 of them came within the first 3 pitches of the at bat. You think that was on accident? You think all guys just decided, hey, we're going to swing early? No, that was their collective plan. They knew they had a strike thrower on the mound that had really good stuff, and they said, let's get him early.
So they've been unafraid of changing their approach because that's why they lost game 1, really, against the guy that they're facing tonight, in the fact that they were like, hey, you know what? To me, they had 2 choices. They could go, Bryce Miller is gassed. This whole team is gassed. We're just going to wear him down and kind of get away from our approach. And they said, no, screw it. We're going to stay aggressive. Are they able to, or do they need to veer from that approach at all as a team?
I mean, that's a tough question to answer because, I mean, obviously what they did all year has got them to this point. But I think the Blue Jays, how they have attacked these pitchers, and I know Seattle, their starting staff is elite, and what makes them elite is they probably throw strike 1 more than most teams do, and they attack the zone. But at this point, you got to try something a little bit different. Maybe not Bryce Miller because he did have some success facing them in game 1, but maybe you got to try to pitch a little bit unconventional. Maybe try to pitch backwards. Maybe try to get some chase early in the account because if they just continue to attack the zone, these Blue Jay hitters are ready to go. The only thing they've changed it from games 1 and 2 to game 3 is John Schneider came out and said he wanted his team to have less jabs and more uppercuts. And, kind of reading between the lines as a player, that just means, take a little bit more aggressive swings. Don't just try to put the ball in play. Hunt your zone. And when you get that pitch, don't be afraid to try to drive it.
I want to talk a little bit about the madman Max Scherzer. I mean, this guy, Mad Max, he's absolutely filthy. Coming in, giving 5 really good innings of 1-run baseball. His energy, his emotion, his never-ending fear to let you know how he really feels, and telling Schneider, I want to go out there and I want to keep going here. Talk a little bit about his prowess and what he brings and means to this team.
Yeah, I was in the press room after, and I couldn't man up and ask him a question, but I had one prepared. I wanted to ask him, do you prefer to be referred to as a maniac, a lunatic, or a psychopath? But I didn't have the courage to do it. But this guy's energy is unlike anything that I've ever seen out of a pitcher, starting pitcher. Normally, you'll get that kind of high energy, kind of psychotic sort of energy out of a bullpen arm because it's such a sprint. You get in the mound, maybe you got to get 1, 2, or 3 outs. You're emptying the gas tank from the first pitch to the last one you throw. You could come off and kind of exhale and show your emotion because you're not going back out there. This guy pitches like a high end reliever. Just even watching him throw in the bullpen, this guy's calling his own game out there. He's calling balls and strikes. He's punching out invisible hitters. He's coming into the dugout. He's throwing coaches out of the way. It's just his personality. I mean, the closest thing that I've ever kind of played with is someone like Josh Donaldson, which you played with as well, is when you have someone that is that intense and that crazy, and I was a very kind of calm, cool, collective type of player, you have no doubt to kind of raise your emotions. You have no doubt, you have no choice but to kind of rise to the moment. And what he was able to do at 41 years old, not touching a mound, not just a big league mound, but he didn't even pitch in a rehab game in the minor leagues for 3 weeks to go out there at age 41. I think we found out during the game last night, he threw his hardest pitches in over 3 years. Talk about a first ballot Hall of Famer stepping up and answering the bell when his team needed it. It was fun to watch.
What's the feeling in Seattle? Not with the teams, but kind of in the stadium. Is it obviously when the team's losing, everyone's like, oh, I can't believe we're losing. This is the worst. But is there like that same pop and jumping around when everybody was getting on you for saying, oh, the Jays are going to take this back to Toronto? Are they still as confident?
No, they are not. I will tell you the first day I got here, I flew in on the day of game 3, got to the hotel, went out, grabbed some lunch before I went to the stadium. Walking around the city, you see nothing but Mariners jerseys and Mariners attire, strangers in the street high-fiving each other. This is the biggest game they've had in Seattle, in a playoff game in I think it's 24 years. And the excitement level in that stadium on game 3 was, one of the best atmospheres that I had seen in baseball. People were really excited for what the Mariners had done on the road, where they had gotten to at this point. And after they lost game 1, there was a little bit of optimism yesterday. But when the Blue Jays kind of took the lead there early on in the game, there was not a lot of energy in there. They tried to manufacture something a little bit later. I think when Eugenio had that base hit, the game was still kind of within striking distance at that point. And then when Josh Naylor made that last out of third base, you could see people kind of turning around, looking towards the exit and trying to decide if it was time to leave or not.
Tell us where Gausman steps up tonight, or how he steps up. He's been one of their most consistent pitchers. He's the best pitcher on the team right now. He sees Old Man River throw last night. Do you think he's a guy that feeds off of that, feeds off the fact that Max did what he did, and he's like, I'm taking us back to Toronto to close it out in game 6, not just give it my best? Or is he not that kind of guy?
No, I think they have polar opposite sort of demeanors when it comes to starting pitching. Like Gausman's your typical starting pitcher. And this is just my opinion because I've never been in the clubhouse with him. I didn't play with him. But he seems like a guy who has his routine. You probably don't talk to him. during his start. He's kind of head down, headphones on, just kind of focused on what he needs to do. But don't let that fool you for the type of competitor he is once he steps on the mound. But I would imagine within that pitching staff, and Kratz, maybe you would know this better as being a catcher, there's always that friendly competition to kind of one up each other. And I think what Bieber did starting in game 3 kind of set this bar for the pitching staff moving forward in this series. And then Scherzer goes out and kind of tops that. And I would expect Gosman to kind of go out and top what Scherzer did. He's the one guy that I think more than anyone in this pitching staff, John Schneider has the utmost faith in. He's got the longest leash. He's earned that. He's been their ace, from the moment he signed to be there. I expect him to go deep into this game. I expect him to, once again, kind of feed off the emotions that the Mariners are feeling right now. They are feeling a sense of huge desperation, almost to the sense where you could kind of almost feel that there's going to be some heroic type of swings being taken from the Seattle players. Each individual guy is trying to get theirs to try to maybe spark their offense or spark their team. And I think that feeds right into Gosman's ability to just keep throwing that splitter below the zone and keep getting some chase.
Hey, you're playing right into my question when you say heroic swings. So first, I'll start it with a joke. In which inning in this next game do you think Andres Gimenez will hit a 2-run home run to right field? All kidding aside, though, I want to preface this. Okay, 4th inning.
No, third.
Oh, 3rd inning. Okay, I missed a finger there.
Just like the last 2 nights. Just like the last 2 nights. The 3rd inning, same situation, and he was really honest about and you could tell, and being able to kind of get the behind the scenes and talking to him and being able to look at all the different video angles. What he said in the first game is he was just trying to get the runner over. And I was in the booth with Caleb Joseph, and we went back and watched the swing over and over. He actually choked up on the bat. After his first swing and miss, he choked up on the bat. He was just trying to put the ball in play, moving the runner over, being the 9-hole hitter, a very high baseball IQ guy, and gets rewarded with the home run. And then you go to the next night, the same exact situation. He gets 2-0 and he takes this gigantic swing where he looked like he was trying to jump ship and repeat what he did the night before. Then he gets into an even count, 2-2, and he fights off some pitches. And then we saw that maybe he wasn't as comfortable off Castillo as the at-bat went on, and he went for having a leg kick to basically like a Bo Bichette, get the foot down early situation, and was able to kind of repeat and have this kind of deja vu moment. Same inning, same situation, puts his team up in the 3rd inning, just trying to move a runner over.
Hey, you should do that more often. Just being real, I mean, Andres had a brutal season at the plate. He started this year as the cleanup hitter. I remember we were like, he's going to be the cleanup hitter? Is Toronto serious? And then eventually, obviously, he moved down in the lineup, and he had a rough year. It's just, that's what the playoffs are all about. Jorge Polanco, Andres Gimenez, guys like that who suddenly look like stars and they're in the history books and the whole deal. The follow-up I had real quick is aggressive swings and doing damage in the zone. Isn't that what players are always trying to do? I know game 3 was unique because they were doing it always early in counts. They drove up counts a little bit more in the game 4 win, but I just want to get more perspective on how a team actually changes approach like that, if that's real or if some of that's just kind of making sure that your guys stay dialed into what their game plan always should be. Spit at balls. If you see fastballs in the zone, go crazy with your A swing.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, ultimately, as a competitor and as a person standing in the batter's box, those are kind of always the things. So I think, yeah, maybe it was a little reverse psychology from the manager. But I think you just got to give a ton of credit to the hitting coaches that Toronto brought in. I think it's been – I don't think I've been told it's just been a culture changer. The fact that he's gotten every single person to buy into what they believe, and the biggest thing talking to them, during BP is they give the guys the freedom to chase within the parameters of where they do damage. Meaning, if you're a guy that likes the ball close to you and you're a pull guy, it's okay to chase sinkers in off the plate. It's okay to chase the backup slider in. If you're a guy who likes the ball out over the plate and up, you have freedom to chase in those areas. So I think the guys just understanding that you don't have to be perfect. I think a lot of hitting coaches around baseball make hitting seem like it's really easy. Like, hey, just look for the fastball out over the plate, and when the slider pops, just take the same swing. It's really not that easy. It's not that easy to hunt a fastball here, recognize a pitch here. But when you could kind of narrow your focus into what you do well, what side of the plate you do well, and you have freedom to not be perfect every time you swing the bat, there's a lot of sense of freedom in that.
KP, real quick, you said they're going to the World Series. Name your first 2 first pitch throwers for the Blue Jays so the Blue Jay fans can get absolutely amped about who they're going to see in the first 2 games throwing the first pitch, since you're already off the table.
Yeah, and I don't think I'll be asked to do it anytime soon.
Feels brutal.
Yeah, unless if I get an opportunity to do it again, I'm going to man up and just jog out to shallow and just let one rip, because then there's no expectations for me to get it home. Who would they roll out? For the first 2 games of the World Series if they get there, or when they get there? I would imagine Joe Carter's probably on a short list of guys they would roll out there. Maybe Dave Steves. I mean, I don't know. I would imagine Joe Carter would maybe be the guy they'd roll out there for game 1. I do have a little bit of maybe inside info who may be throwing out the first pitch for game 6 back in Toronto, now that they've guaranteed themselves an opportunity to go play at least one more game in the Rogers Center.
Tell us.
I have an educated guess. I'm just going to ask it real quick as a question. Has Jose Bautista thrown out a first pitch yet? Was he already there?
I'm not sure if he has.
Okay.
I mean, there's a chance that
Look.
I think he did. I think he did when they put his name up in the level of excellence.
Right,
Early
but
in
I'm
the
saying
season.
for this postseason, he hasn't thrown one out, so he's still available on the bench, ready to get the phone call.
Yeah, I think Gogo's available. I think Deanna Navarro's available. Chris
Adam
Colabello. Adam Lind is available. He wasn't on a postseason team. But that,
Mark Burley.
Munenori I would say bring Munenori Kawasaki out for game 6 and really just energize that stadium. That doesn't really need any more electricity, but what a scene that would be. Everyone's
Colby
maybe
Rasmus.
expecting a Jose Bautista, or Edwin already did it. Donaldson already did it. You're expecting a player like Jose to, come out of the dugout, and all of a sudden it's just all in Japanese, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And then Munenori Kawasaki comes out there holding a couple
In
bananas,
Japanese.
which maybe Jackson Cherios needs to eat more bananas, because
Never crap.
in the famous words of Munenori Kawasaki, monkeys never cramp.
It's true.
True. He knows.
3 banana a day.
Baseball.
Hey, Todd Father, you thrown out a first pitch before, and I'm sure you have, and you made it to home plate.
Opening day in Cincinnati, right on the outside corner, strike 3, baby. I threw a firm too.
Paint. We'll send you the clip. We got to run. KP, you're the man. Have a great show later, and we'll see if the Blue Jays win out here, like you're talking about. All right.
I'll see you guys.
Appreciate you.
You got to know what happened to his pitch.
On our post-game shows, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been following this channel for a while. Maybe I'll press the button that takes me 1 second to press." So that would be cool. Appreciate you. Let's show this tweet from Keegan Matheson about Scherzer passing manager John Schneider, who is a close second to Pat Murphy in this postseason for epic quotes. Even when he's not on the podium, Schneider apparently passed him, and with a big slap on his back said, "All right, you fucking psycho, get in there." Your turn to talk to the media. Schneider was pumped to get the hell out of my face, essentially, from Scherzer and go back to your damn dugout. Stop removing pitchers early, Toronto. Talking to the organization in general. I felt like that was like a bigger message, like, you stop it. And not just you, John. I'm talking about all of you management. You leave us alone. We're the labor. We're the employees. Go back to your damn dugout and let me finish this damn inning.
That was funny.
And then go into the next one.
Mic drop.
Thank
That
you.
was a mic drop moment on the mound.
Yep.
I don't appreciate Max pushing Pete Walker when he came in. Like, he came down the steps and Pete wanted to say something to him, and he kind of bumped him. After he settles down, after his start, if I'm the manager, I'm going to be like, I love everything you do. I can't have mutiny in the dugout.
He was in my way. I'm a psycho. You know what you signed up for? I'm 41 years old.
I'm a man.
But they also had a clip.
it.
They showed it. The whole dugout was super juiced, talking about what Max did. Like, you saw, like, Vladdy was like, I was in there. And you talk about energy. You talk about how does that affect a team? That clip should be clipped for everybody, every front office who's like, I don't know, this guy's, his FIP ERA warranted plus minus negative is not great. But what he brings to the mound, obviously he has to do good, but that energy and everything permeates the whole team.
Yeah, and he didn't have a good year,
100%.
but this start's worth the whole contract, right? If you don't have that, you're probably bounced. If you're down 3-1, you're in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt.
Bieber too. Bieber had ups and downs with them, but that start the other day, that's why he paid for him. Huge. What's the beef? There's a lot of it, actually, with two former stars, Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez, sending shots towards Brian Cashman. Cash is like, I've been in the biz for a minute. I'm clapping back. And he did. So there were two different sides of the coin here. A-Rod was more ripping the entire roster, saying that it was a terrible roster, the 2025 Yanks. And Cashman slyly pointed out how 48 hours prior, A-Rod picked them to win the World Series. So stay hot. I think Jeter's is the one that we should focus more on. And we're going to get sound here from Cash coming up in just a sec. But Jeter was defending Boone and saying he didn't have any inside knowledge, but that he felt like Boone was being told what to do, which is pretty standard. I will actually side comment in today's sport. But he was taking a shot at Cashman and his group for, taking over and being too analytical and the whole deal, right? So Cash did not just say, I'm not going to cover that. He actually went on a radio show, WFAN, and said this.
And they don't know. Clearly, they don't know. I know that DJ said that. I don't know what he meant by it. He did say he doesn't have inside knowledge when he said it, but he did say it for whatever reason. And I think that's the boogaboo that people get to throw out there when they got nothing else to throw. It's like, essentially he agrees with me that Aaron Boone's a good manager. This is Derek's commentary, and I agree with him. And then, there's always the boogeyman of other people are making the calls. Analytics. People like to throw that too, and none of that's accurate. At the end of the day, you put Joe Torre on a deposition, you put Joe Girardi under a deposition, or you put Aaron Boone under a deposition. I've never picked a lineup. We've never picked a lineup. We don't tell them who to play. We don't tell them who to pitch, whether it's the pen or the rotation. We do have conversations, like every organization, about what's best at times. In our opinion, their opinion, they'll ask us various different things, and that's about process and setups. But in the end of the day, they have the power of the lineup and in game, and it just isn't the case. So it's just a sad throwaway comment for people to make that don't really know.
A little extra context too. A-Rod doesn't love Cash because in 2013 he got the 211 game PED suspension, kind of broke up the relationship with him and with many others. To be fair, he sued everybody besides himself on that one. Jeter, after 2010, didn't get the long-term deal, and he's bitter about that, and that's fair. Just to give you a little context that they're not BFFs. Your thoughts on one side versus the other here?
Yeah, interesting. Just very interesting. It's a little. I think everybody's a little upset right now. The Yankees aren't in the playoffs and they're not fighting their way to get to the World Series. I think that's where it stems from. I think there's a little bit of tough love. Like, hey, man, why aren't the Yankees winning? There's got to be some sort of issue. I mean, trying to defend. I think Derek Jeter's trying to defend his buddy, Aaron Boone, which in all right he has, and he can. And I think, here's the thing, you don't really see this too much in Yankee land. The talking not back and forth to each other, but one guy, especially in such prowess and such Hall of Fame status as Derek Jeter is, all of a sudden now he's got a platform. He could say basically what he wants on the channel he's on and talking about baseball. And he let it loose. He was like, listen, I don't have a source, but at the same time, I got to feel that I know Aaron's not making the choices here. And Cashman all of a sudden came back with it. So I'd love to see what transpires after this. Do I think anything will? I don't. But a little ding here, a little ding there. There's nothing wrong with that. These two grown men trying to, help each other out, making sure things are said right.
Jeter might not have a direct source, Kratz, but is he wrong? Jeter recently worked in a front office, and I think on Cash's side, bringing up Joe Torre or even Joe Girardi at this point is so long ago. The game has changed. No manager makes decisions on their own, and they shouldn't make decisions on their own. They get very valuable information. I think the part where the fight is going on, and there are others involved too with this fight, is that Aaron Boone is just heading to the ballpark and saying, my way or the highway, baby. Everything I do is completely driven by me. Booney wants the information, but also, if he disagreed every single day, would he be working for the Yankees?
No. But if you don't disagree with people, you never get anywhere. The organization that I was asked about the most, and I've said this before on the show, when I went back to the Yankees, was the Rays. What do the Rays do different? What do the Rays do? And I said, the Rays put everything they can into wanting to win, and they're not afraid of letting people say things, bring things up, and contradict each other. And I'll be honest, I saw that with the Yankees. I saw those conversations. Were there people that didn't agree? Yeah, absolutely. But they didn't get fired for not agreeing. The people that I saw get fired from that organization were people who completely went against what the organization's view of how to do things was going to be. So when they brought in Aaron Boone was not like, oh man, I got to have this job. To me, Aaron Boone has done an incredible job because he sets an environment that fosters people to question why they are saying something. Why would you put Erik Kratz in the lineup over Gary Sanchez? Why would you put Kyle Higashioka in the lineup over Gary Sanchez or Giancarlo Stanton? All these things are discussed and there's disagreements. But I believe at the end of the day, this organization wants to win and they push in the same direction. And some things, there's a louder voice. Sometimes it's analytics is a louder voice. Sometimes it has to be Boone is a louder voice and him saying, look, this is what I'm seeing on the field. And I completely disagree with what A-Rod said. This was a good team. They just were not better than the Blue Jays in this series.
I'm keeping A-Rod's part mostly out of it. It's like, they're going to win the World Series 2 days later. They're the worst team ever. Like, okay. I think the Jeter Cashman part actually has juice to it because I see both sides here. Cash is not showing up in the dugout saying boop, bop, beep every single day, but the front office does help make
He said he
a
never
good chunk of the decision making.
Never done it.
But they give them information every day. Here's what the lineup should look like. You do you, right? If you think this player is going through it and you're talking to him, that's fine. But that's normal. Like Joe Madden was on our show the other day. You were on with him and he pushes against this, but still for years, I know for the Cubs, for example, they'd send him all his info. And then that morning he'd be on his tablet and he'd be taking their info, mixing it with what he's got. Like that's okay.
That's
You're allowed to give info. My thing is,
I think the lineup saying, here's what the lineup is. Good luck. And you have no choice.
Right. And there are some teams that do that too. Right. So
that's not them.
Yeah, that's not them. That's fine. But my point is to act like they don't have influence. Of course they have influence. Like every team has influence these days. And I don't know. I know we can go all day about this, but go ahead. Last word, Kratz.
No, I don't have a last word. Okay. We could talk all the time about it. But in my opinion, Cashman has done everything to put this team in a place to win. the moves, the guys that he's picked up after they pivoted from not getting Soto, that's clearly no-brainer. Cashman shouldn't be on the hot seat. In my opinion, he should not be on the hot seat. The organization, maybe some of the decisions outside of Cashman and Boone, I think these two guys should have the full trust from Hal Steinbrenner to continue to do what they've been doing, and that's making the playoffs year in and year out. And I think they're going to make a run at the World Series again next year, some way, somehow.
Yeah, they've assembled good rosters. They've made their mistakes. I think the Volpe situation, the more I've heard about it, doesn't make sense. Like, oh, it was more of a problem than we thought. Okay, then he shouldn't have been playing as much. That's a separate issue. The last thing, real quick, the analytics side, like, oh, the analytics excuse. It is a real thing, okay? The Yankees are top 3 in that for a long period of time and own it. They always act like, oh, no, we don't care about that. And then behind the scenes, like you talk to, I mean, I'm including A-list players that I've heard from, not this year, last year, but it's probably like that have said, like, yeah, we had to talk to them internally. It was getting too much. We go back and forth. We don't feel like they're hearing us on that. Like, that's not a secret. That's minor leagues. That's major leagues. And there's always that give and take, and they're not the only team. But to act like, oh, we hear the analytics complaints. Like, to me, that's belittling everybody around you and lying. But that's me.
I think Yankee fans also need to get hit with this dose of reality. Yes, they have not won since 2009. In 2009, and even like in the earlier when they won back in the early 2000s, they were this far above everybody else in the sense of like some of their forward thinking and spending. Well, that spending's never changed. The difference is a lot of teams have closed that gap now. The Yankees aren't getting worse. The other teams have closed that gap with the edge that the Yankees had. So now the Yankees have to find that new edge. And to me, that new edge really sits in the person-to-person interaction. How do you not get that stuff wrong? How do you get that stuff throughout the 162, and then implement it into the postseason? Like, this is a team that was in the World Series last year. Like, they were in the World Series. They got beaten 5 games? Yes. They were in the World Series. They are right there. I just think the rest of the league has caught up to them. Now they have to find a way to open that gap back up again.
Good stuff. All right, coming up next, Seth McClung, former big leaguer and current content creator. Kratz, summer is over. Fair Harbor is still dominating. Same style, right? Comfort, feels thin, it's soft. All of the material of their clothing is there for you, and it's super cool. They've got great colors.
Just because it's cold out doesn't mean you have to be all stiff and I hate my clothes. Fair Harbor's got you covered with some nice, sleek gear.
You've got the Horizon pants, for example. They look clean and tailored, but they move like your favorite sweats thanks to the soft fabric and that 4-way stretch action that you get. Try them. Go to the website. It's fairharborclothing.com/foul20 and use the code FOUL20. I know in the past you might have used foul. It's foul20 for 20% off your order. Again, that's fair, HARBOR clothing.com/foul20 for 20% off. Make sure you use the promo code from FT, foul20. Get after it. Go check out Fair Harbor. It's always there for you. Hey, Yadi put this out on Instagram. He's ready. He's ready. A few years on the sidelines and just poking his head into a dugout. He's ready to manage. He is officially declaring himself a signable manager. He might get signed.
It's a great time too.
There's a ton of openings.
A ton. I think there's nothing. I think he'd be a solid manager, and I think this is the perfect time to come out and say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to be a manager and have him as my bench coach. I wonder how he's going to do. I wonder how he's going to do in the media sense, because there's a ton of that kind of stuff. He wasn't that open as a player, and I'm racking my brain to think of like significant players that are managers now that didn't have that like media where we have an example of him speaking out in the media. You just didn't see it a lot throughout his
No.
career, and played in an easy market, St. Louis, where it didn't need to, and they didn't press him. But that's the part that, hey, maybe this Instagram post, look at me, I'm spreading my social media wings. I can do media.
Yeah, and bench coach might be a good gateway for him to just get a feel for what the manager's working with every day, and maybe it's a manager that would even let him do some speaking to see. It's not the comfort thing. He's brilliant, right? I've spoken to Yadi. He's brilliant and he's super well respected. He, for the most part, hated talking to the media. Hated, right? Not in a mean way. He's just like, nah, I'm good. I'm busy.
Got to do it twice.
Not for everybody.
Twice a day. Former big leaguer Seth McClung joining us right now on Foul Territory, pitch for the Rays, Brewers, and putting out some really cool content on Twitter at Seth_3773. Seth, first off, how you doing? And are you enjoying being a content creator these days?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me. I don't know about content creator. I feel like I'm just an old, washed up ball player who puts stuff on social media so kids don't think I'm so old. I don't know what I'm getting out there, but I'm having a good time with it.
It's good. So I want to give everyone an example right off the jump. So you did a series about your favorite ballparks. So can you give us some context on what you put together on Twitter and maybe mix in a few of your favorites and what stood out?
Sure. So basically, I have people ask me all the time, like, where did I enjoy playing and things like that. And, you see the ballparks, but you don't really see some of the inner workings of it, the clubhouse and the city. And, when you're in the minor leagues, I know now it's different. I think they take care of the kids a little better than they took care of us. We were kind of on our own defined living situation. So I was kind of putting all that together in a score and talking about which were my favorite and some of the experience I had in some of the cities, and it wasn't 1-to-1. Like, I guess Charleston was like number 3 and Tampa was like number 5. Well, obviously I wanted to be in Tampa more than I wanted to be in Charleston because that was the big leagues. But during the time, that was and at the level, that was a better place to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So do the kids think you're cool now? Or are they like, geez, nobody does a top 5 list, bruh?
No, I'm just fat Coach Seth, and I don't have hair anymore, so it's getting worse by the day. So, yeah.
So your only redeemable trait is that you were a big leaguer.
They don't even care about that, man. They don't. They kids. They don't give a crap. They have no idea. I mean, I just tell them, I'm like, look, you don't look up my stats. Just, I threw 103 miles an hour. Derek Jeter's 0 for 5 off of me, and I hit 2 for 2 as a lefty off Randy Johnson. Don't look up anything else.
There you go. No, that's definitely what you need to. That's what you need to tell them, because they want the 11-second highlights. But as you do this stuff, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, they go, when I say that, they say, who's Randy Johnson? So I lose it. So
that's fair. As you're doing this, as you're helping, because I've seen you on Twitter how you're coaching. You're kind of you buck against some of the things that are just like general norms in the game that you're like, wait. And you come from a different era. What's the one thing that you would say you can help youth baseball players to be the best that they can be to get to the big leagues? Because I assume all of them want to get to the big leagues, even though most of their parents just want them to get like some like podunk scholarship that probably is going to get decommitted in a year anyway.
Well, getting to the big leagues that's 1 in a million. You guys know that. But what I try to tell kids is, baseball is a team sport played by a group of individuals, and you guys have heard that before. But I want less me and more we. If you can celebrate your teammates, and instead of just being all about yourself, you're going to have more help along the way. Less people will feel separated from you and enjoying your own success, and you just kind of enjoy the game a little bit better. I know that that's not necessarily a secret to making it to the big leagues, but what it is it makes the game better as a whole. I don't know when it became really fashionable just to make the other team look really bad or just kind of be a jerk on the field. Just go out there and have fun and do it the right way. because it's such a grind to be great. It's an everyday thing, and if it's constant drama and constant aggression as far as towards the other teammates, that's tough. I mean, you guys know when we would play in the big leagues after the game, we'd all go out together. It didn't matter if we were yelling at each other or each other. We were all at the same places after the game. So it is a brotherhood, and I think more of that needs to be for the forefront.
Yeah, and it's harder to do now with the social media out there, as we all know and enjoy. It's a gift and a curse. You go out, and next thing you know, people are, they're, blah, 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 whatever. You can't get away with a lot of the things with hanging with your buddies and just trying to enjoy a night out. But my question to you is, what do you think about the game now? What, like, along those lines, you were talking about it a little bit. You like all the changes to the game? You see all these new rules being put out, the ABS system. Talk to me a little about what you like and what you don't like about the new game of baseball going on.
I think we have to be careful in speeding it up and kind of dumbing it down a little bit. The game is special, and it can be as intricate as you want. Right now, we're asking hitters to hit the ball a long way and swing hard, and we're asking pitchers to throw hard and spin the ball. We're not asking them really to throw strikes, and we're not asking batters to get on base. It's really kind of the two easiest things you want professionals to do. Guys can throw hard. We're professional. We're talented, so you're not really asking them to do something. I always say the game is more talented than it's ever been right now, but it's not as skilled. I know when I was pitching and I was coming up as a 22-year-old in Tampa when we were terrible playing the Yankees, who Alex Rodriguez making more money than our whole team. We got a break at 9 in the order with Miguel Cairo hitting 306. Everybody else was just a monster. They were hitting home runs, high batting averages. Guys were taking second bases and things like that. And so the game was definitely different. And I do think some changes, because you do have to continue to evolve. But I don't, it's kind of one of those things like you tell teenagers, don't just fall into the traps of what everybody's doing, because then you lose your identity. I don't think Major League Baseball should lose its identity by trying to just make itself more sexy at this moment. I think there's a lot more ways that we could do a better job, is maybe market our players a little bit better on the social media and some things like that. I think the NFL does a really good job of marketing their players, and I think more along the line of that. We do have to give in a little bit. I know a lot of older guys don't like the in-game interview and things like that, but we're gonna have to give in a little bit on that. But I really just don't like the loss of identity and the loss of the skill of the game.
All right, I want to hit back on what you're talking about, the stadiums. I visited quite a few more stadiums than you, so I loved how you just kept you kept showing everybody a different stadium. Get a little more detail into it for anybody of our audience that didn't read it or didn't follow your tweets when you were talking about all the different stadiums.
So we I see me and my team of my buddies. We broke it down into how the playing surface was, how the front office was, and then how the coaching staff was, then your living situation. So for example, you're in AAA Durham. The living situation is usually, for me, I was up and down a lot. So for me, it was some Holiday Inn or Days Inn or whatever, 7 extended stay. So it wasn't that bad. But then the front office was amazing, because they understood your situation. They try the best to help them out with, if they needed to get you a hotel or whatever they wanted to do, or if they needed some extra appearances for some extra money. They were great. And then, you kind of ranked how that was, because a lot of people don't understand. It's, we're people too. And we have lives and we have feelings. And, if there's no good place to eat and you're out of comfort, you're in some city, you don't know where you are, it's really hard to, shut it down and be ready to play the next day, or just kind of get in your comfort zone. So some of these cities, for instance, Charleston is one of my favorite cities in the country. And I just loved everything about it. And I still go there and visit. But for a 20-year-old who's making $900 a month trying to get an apartment, where I get an apartment for $800 a month in a town, or in a part of town where, every now and then I just get a knock on the door from a nice working lady to see if I wanted anything. And I was like, get out of here, my girlfriend's coming over. So, you yourself in these situations where you're in the lower minor leagues that you're really just kind of struggling to get by. And these cities in these different places that have different people can either help you or make it harder.
All right. Now we got to go to your team that actually I would have said your picture on Baseball Reference would have been a Rays hat, but your Baseball Reference picture is Milwaukee. So I was I was surprised at that, but I remember you in Durham and not again. I wasn't when you played for the Rays. But my question to you is: one, the Brewers, where are they at? How do you feel about this postseason? But also the fact that your nickname, I think, was the janitor because you'd pitch in any situation. Now
I think
everybody's a janitor.
Yeah. Yeah. I was out there cleaning up messes. I threw kind of whenever, wherever. That's kind of what they kind of call me. I like Big Red better, but at least the janitor was getting paid a little bit. So, yeah, Milwaukee for me is my favorite place. I loved it there. I got to start a little bit, but then kind of in that 08 season when we broke, kind of the streak of not making the playoffs, I had a real magical run and I had a big role. And I really related well with the blue collar city, being from West Virginia myself and really just kind of the same kind of people. And just having big moments. I have a game 161. I came in for Jeff Suppan. I threw 4 innings. I think I threw 64 pitches and 59 of them were fastballs. And I blew everybody away and just kind of locked us up to where we ended up tying the Mets for the playoffs. And then the next day is where Erik, I'm sure you've seen the home run where Braun hits the home run, and you might even notice I'm the guy in the bullpen who is jumping up and down catching the ball with Mota. But that was just really kind of one of those special seasons that I love being a Milwaukee Brewer. I still go back to the park every now and then, and my wife, who wasn't around during those times, she goes, "Will anybody recognize you?" And I said, "Probably not." And as we're walking through the parking lot, somebody yells out, "Yo, Big Red!" And I was like, I couldn't have paid somebody to do that better in front of her. So it was good. I still have buying a beer down on Water Street. So it's people really care. And Erik, you played there during a big year. It was nice. But as far as this year, it's really kind of disappointing to be down to the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are really good. There's not really much you could say. I mean, and Milwaukee's really good too. But I mean, you face some starting pitching like the Dodgers are throwing at them right now. It's really tough.
Yeah, I'm with you. They're outmatched right now in the series. We'll see if things turn around. But either way, that is cool. That's smooth too. For wifey, where you're like, yeah, I don't know if anyone will recognize me. Big Red, what's up? How you doing? Anyway, you want to go get dinner? That's good. That's good. I like that.
It
worked. It worked out. Yeah. That's good. Well, Seth, it was awesome having you on, man. Great talking shop. Keep doing your thing. Love what you're putting out there on Twitter and talking ball. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. That's Seth McClung, FT fam. We'll be right back to go over Dave Dombrowski's really long post-mortem Phillies speech. It's FT presented by Fox One. Go check out the app. Now is the time. Going to shout them out, but also going to take a couple of your questions in about 30 seconds. Just want to say that this episode is brought to you by Fox One. They're presenting sponsor for the postseason for us. Stream all your Fox favorites together in one place. MLB postseason, a little bit of NFL on Fox, a little bit of big noon action. So hit that QR code on the screen. You can stream it now. It's pretty new. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions, but give it a shot for a week. We like that they're liking what we're putting out there in the baseball content world. On that front, let's answer a couple questions. Yeah, exactly. You should do that every time now. They've got live goats. Okay, couple questions here. First off, John said in the chat, can we be sure that teams aren't cheating anymore without wanting to accuse any team in particular? I mean, by cheating, does he mean like illegal sign stealing, tech sign stealing?
Oof.
The tipping thing
Yeah.
this year that took over, like that's legal as far
Not
as I
cheating.
know. I mean,
No.
you're using AI to figure out tips, but you relay that to your team, and then someone standing at second base is allowed to say what they're seeing.
Exactly.
Now,
You
I
can't
don't
rule
know.
it out.
I don't know what he's
Yeah.
trying to say here.
the
but-
only thing I
can't
can
rule
think
out
of
cheating.
is
Tech-
we joked about this, and it went a little viral I think it went more viral because he had no idea what he was talking about. But Craig Carton put out a thing about Bryce Miller saying he's like a no-name scrub. He doesn't even know who he is, and then he was trying to say how the Jays are cheating and he'll die on that hill. But he was saying they're cheating against that. They looked bad against Bryce Miller. Okay, but Bryce Miller was pitching in Toronto. Like the home road part of what he was saying made no sense. Literally nothing he said made sense. But I haven't seen anybody else throw anything else
Yeah, I
out
don't
there
know.
that's gotten legs. But
People will
That's all I
always
got.
be cheating. People will always be cheating. You have to understand that because there's so much money in having elite success. I know somebody that won a batting title and he was caught with somebody with binoculars in center field. So did he do that all the time? Is that the reason that he had just an incredible year? He's a good player. It's one of those things. There's always, but to tech stuff, Major League Baseball has done a really good job of controlling a lot of the tech stuff. Yeah, that's what he said.
that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Okay, so the day after the season ends kind of situation here for the Phillies with Dave Dombrowski doing the postmortem about a week after they were bounced from the postseason. It got more attention because he brought up Bryce Harper. He actually brought up a lot of things. The only definite he gave us was that Max Kepler is not returning. He was on a one-year deal, and it sounds like they want Justin Crawford and a little bit of an outfield reshuffle. For the most part, they're not going to give away everything they're doing for the offseason. This is all info coming from the Phillies show, by the way, which is part of the FT Network, and it's a fantastic show. But anyway, I want to start with Bryce Harper, Kratz, and get your thoughts here from the jump after we roll the clip, because online some people are like, oh, Dave Dombrowski's shading Bryce Harper, saying he's not good anymore. Okay, let's listen to the clip and decide.
Yes.
I don't think, I mean, in Bryce's case, of course, he's still a quality player. He's still an all-star caliber player. He didn't have an elite season like he has had in the past. And I guess we only find out if he becomes elite or he continues to be good. I mean, it's not like he's, you know, it's like if you say to me, I look around the league, I was trying to think, Freddie Freeman. He's a really good player, right? He still is a good player. Is he elite like he was before? Probably not to the same extent, and so that's nothing negative. You know, Freddie's a tremendous player, and that's, to me, is Bryce. Can he rise to the next level again? I don't really know that answer. I mean, and really, he's the one that will dictate that more than anything else. I mean, is what it comes down to. So. I don't think he's content with the year that he had. And again, it wasn't a bad year. But when I think of Bryce Harper, you're thinking elite, right? You're thinking one of the top 10 players in baseball, and I don't think it fit into that category. But again, very good player. I have no idea when you see somebody, I have seen guys at his age, again, he's not old, that level off. Or I've seen guys rise again. We'll see what happens.
Is he calling him out in a nice way? Like, I want to see Bryce be legendary versus just a star in the sport. He certainly wasn't saying what some were referring to, like, oh, he's pissed off and doesn't like Bryce's season and all that. I mean, Bryce had a down year by his standards. That's fair to say, right, Kratz?
I'd take it.
Oh, hell yeah, it's a good year. He's just saying it wasn't, you know, like, let's keep it simple here for the start, right? Like, let's just go on offense for a moment because he's a Gold Glove finalist. He's playing a really nice first base these days, right? Talking about Bryce. 142 career OPS plus, 42% better than league average. This year, he was at 129. So it's a tick below. I actually am very against Dave's comments about Freddie Freeman. He's like a top 3 defensive first baseman. His career OPS plus is 142, and this year he was 141. Plus he's a postseason legend and monster. I think if anything, Bryce coming up short in a small sample size in the postseason and not being himself could be looked at. But what's your take here?
My take is they have to dive into, was he 100% healthy? Because very few guys finish a season 100% healthy. It's how you play through that. And a 129 OPS plus for Bryce, to me, is still legit. It's still an all-star level player. The question was posed, is he still elite? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know if he's ever able to. I've seen guys decline. I've seen guys rise out of the ashes, is what he said. And I know here in Philly right now, Bryce Harper is on a dartboard. Kyle Schwarber's on a dartboard. He's on 2 dartboards. And Trey Turner on dartboards, because Philly fans are pissed that those guys didn't hit. But if you watch his demeanor, if you watch Dombrowski's demeanor, he's like, look, like, this is the team we built. This is a really good player. Can he improve? It's up to him. So maybe this was a little prodding, but the only person that can say it was a little prodding was Bryce. Bryce was also the same guy less than a year ago who said, maybe I want an extension. Maybe I want to finish out a Philly. Maybe this is Dombrowski's way of saying, if you want to come back to me with that, I got to see a little uptick. I'm not saying it was. I'm saying it could be viewed that way by Bryce. And the last thing you ever want to do is give Bryce a reason. I'm not saying that he's pissing him off. I'm saying he could take that next level. Why? Because Bryce has never been that consistent 142 OPS plus. He's been like 130 OPS plus, bang, 180 MVP, 130, bang, MVP, those types of years. He's still got that in him. I believe that. And he's works incredibly hard. He was drafted as a catcher, became an outfielder so he could get to the big leagues so much sooner. Was an outfielder, went to first base. And now in his second full season of being a first baseman, he's a Gold Glove finalist. And maybe if there's a first baseman like Josh Naylor for the Phillies, would he want to go back out to right field? I don't know. Question.
They said no. Dave said no.
Okay.
Dave said def no. So, because you have some
That's
fans
no.
like, oh, Pete Alonso. No.
No.
There. Yeah, but Naylor too. I love Naylor, but Naylor's first base or DH. That's it. And so Bryce is the guy at first.
Bryce is a Gold Glove finalist. That's been the knock on Pete. Like, everybody, and I don't agree with it because the first base defense is so, like, the difference between elite and, like, brutal isn't that high, isn't that much. But to me, I think he is settled into first base, but Bryce said he was willing to do it had they gotten somebody. So the dude's there for there's no, I don't think there was any shade thrown towards Bryce. I think Dombrowski was just being honest.
There's I think a confidence level that Dombrowski kind of didn't show there about his guys. So, I mean, for me, if I'm Bryce, I'm looking at this like, I don't know where this is coming from. Kind of like what you said, maybe contract, something like why is this, this question or this answer being told? Talking about he's 33-year-olds, it's not old at all. In my opinion, 33, you're still kicking. You got at least 5 more good years. I think he's still going to be an elite player. I think he's going to be a top 10 player for sure. Yeah, he had a good year. He didn't have a great year. Okay, whoop-de-doo. I mean, your team didn't win. You can't just pinpoint it on one guy. And I think the last thing I'll say, like, all right, well, if you're going to come out in interviews like that, be prepared for a player like a guy in Bryce Harper to come out when asked questions about the staff and about what else, to come, not attack Dombrowski, but say, hey, man, I don't know what they're doing up there. We know we're looking for other players. We want this. So maybe Dave, we're talking about top 10 GMs. Maybe Dave, we don't know who he is right now. So don't be upset when a player of his stature comes back at you in a good way, not to crush you, but to question you a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to switch things up. I mean, I think that much is clear. They didn't do it much last year, but I think they're going to do more of it this year, Kratz. It's a lot of regular season success, but they're not getting where they want to go. They're getting cut off a little bit sooner each year, postseason wise.
I heard this last year. They're going to change something.
But
They're going to change. And who did they get? Max Kepler? They picked up Jordan Romano? Like,
they're going to do it again, though. Don't you think there's going to be uproar there if they leave everything the same?
The same people that are saying, oh, the top three really struggled in the NLDS. Yo, we got to sign Schwarber back, yo. Yo, there's no way we can not get Schwarber back. He had a great year. Like, what? Like, anybody that's come up to me, because I went and played poker last night, and dudes were like, what about the top three in the NLDS? They were terrible. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're talking about the Dodgers top three? Because they were brutal. They actually got out-hit by the Phillies top three in that series. Oh, you're just listening to every single thing that everybody else is saying. The Phillies are not in a bad place. Do they need to change something? Yeah. What do they need to change? Like their music? No, they need to hit in the postseason. They need to score more runs at the end of the game and continue to push forward. They haven't done it. They've got in reverse. You'd rather see your team go NLDS, outed, NLDS, outed, NLCS, and then the World Series, but they went backwards. So they have to change something, but they have the personnel to do it, and they're probably going to go and sign somebody that will help this lineup. They got to hit in October.
Hey, we'll ask Dave about this. He's supposed to join us next week, right? Next week on Thursday, Dave Dombrowski, live on Foul Territory. We'll ask him. And lastly, Freddie Freeman's busy right now in the postseason, but I will represent him on this. Excuse me. I would like to refrain from catching strays right now. Thank you very much. I know I'm a little bit older, but my numbers are the same. And I rest my case.
So consistent. Right. Look up his baseball reference to Freddie Freeman. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Nothing's changed. He looks, sure, if you want to say he's older, a little slower, but the production, the numbers are the same for a long time. Look it up. Anyway, Will Benson, Cincinnati Reds, coming up next after we tell you the Philadelphia Phillies show is super popular, and most of what I said came from listening to them this morning on my long car ride to Todd Father's studio. Be right back with Will Benson. Hey, it's FT, presented by Fox One. Should we dip into some more questions here? There were some responses to the Yankee stuff from earlier. I know we've talked about this a lot, but people are like totally up in arms with the Volpe stuff because it sounds like he's coming back to be the shortstop. His season's going to start late. We got some of the info yesterday. We got the info. You can't swing for 4 months, but you can't dive for balls for 6 months. So that dips you into the start of the season. Here's my main concern, and a lot of Yankee fans voiced this too. They said, okay, is next year going to be it's the first year off the shoulder surgery situation? Matt McClain had that. We're going to talk to Will Benson coming up in a moment. Not necessarily much about that. But my point is you do hear that a lot. Shoulder surgery is a big deal.
No joke.
It's no joke. He might be off for a year, right? Like the numbers might be quite off for a year, even from what he usually posts. So that's where there's frustration, which I think is warranted. Don't you think that's fair?
Sure.
If you're going to get a lesser version of what he's given you, Yanks fans are like, yo, this is the spot where they're dialed in right now. Like he was hurt, you played him. Now he might be worse coming off shoulder surgery, and you're still sticking by him as your shortstop, which is the big position for them.
Yeah, it's the unknown. It's the unknown factor of, how is he going to come off surgery? Is there anything else in there that we didn't see? There's a lot of MRIs out there that show one thing, and next thing you know, there's more. We'll see. It's the big unknown factor, and it's going to be a big talk this offseason about what they're going to do, and it's really up to the Yankees and the brass to figure that out. I don't have the slightest clue. I love Anthony Volpe. I think he's a great kid. I think he's good, and I think when he's healthy, he's a really good shortstop. He's a Gold Glover, as we know. We know he can hit. I feel like part of that whole thing was because of the shoulder. He was pulling off a lot more, too, as well, so – was he overcompensating? We don't know. So it's something this offseason. It's going to be a big storyline.
By far the most talked about 80 OPS plus guy in baseball history. But I'm sure it'll keep coming up. I think we got 1 minute. Some comments about our Philly stuff just now. Don said, will Dombrowski be elite again? Can he rise to the next level? I think he's done a pretty good job. But, yeah, I would say he has to maybe shake things up. And Armand said,
shake it up.
Matt Gelb reported Castellanos likely to be traded or released. I think he'll get dealt, Kratz. I mean, they'll eat some money, but I think another team will take that bet.
100%. I think he's able to – he doesn't make errors in the outfield. He's a below average defender, but he definitely adds to a team. And he comes through in the postseason.
Our buddy, Reds big leaguer, Will Benson, joining us now, getting ready for hoop season to kick back and watch while he's training hard all off season too. Will, good to see you. How you doing? I can't quite see the number. Is that a 3?
Yeah, it's AI.
There we go. Nice. I like that a lot. It's bringing me back.
No, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. How are y'all doing?
We're good. We're good. I mean, I want to start with, because we haven't talked to you since, like, how was the end of the season, the postseason? I know it was quick in terms of getting bounced by a team that's headed to the World Series most likely soon. But what was that like for you guys to crack the postseason and all that craziness in the last week?
It was an incredible experience, especially for our group, right? Like, we've been kind of itching to get in there the past 2 years, and 23, we really had a chance. But to really come through in 25 and just experience that, I think will pay dividends, you know, in the future. Obviously, playing against the Dodgers, who are currently playing incredible, we saw the best of the best, so we know what it's going to require to advance.
I want to ask a little bit about you. You started off in AAA, got brought back up. You were player of the week in May, went back down in August, and then brought back up for a September run. Just talk a little bit about so that people can understand how hard that really is, the toughness and the mental fortitude you really have to have, and, you know, how you have to build your mind in the right way, thinking, knowing like, hey, man, I'm a big leaguer. What is going on here? Just talk a little bit about that and how you fought through it.
Yeah, man, I'm very thankful that I'm grounded in my faith. I wouldn't be where I am if that weren't the case. Like you said, it already takes a mental fortitude to play in the big leagues, but then to, you know, ask a player to get bounced up and down, and honestly, at times you didn't even know what the reason was for. That's tough, and the hardest part of it all was seeing it how it affected my wife. She's so strong, and you know she was doing a lot, you know, just to come see me play, and so to experience that was honestly a blessing in disguise, because I saw the business side of things, and also it drives me, you know, to be the best player that I can possibly be. I'm very thankful for the opportunity, you know, that I'm always given, and whatever form or fashion that is, and so it also helps me keep my perspective, you know, as I go along in this journey.
Looking back on it, how would you have handled it differently? All the ups and downs, because I went through the same thing, ups and downs, success, no success. My faith was what grounded me. So that was like a huge way to go through it. But how would you have handled it all differently?
You know, I actually reflected on this a couple of days ago, and I'm grateful to say, man, I don't really think I would have handled it any differently. I would say potentially maybe in you know, some of my interactions when I was getting sent down, I wish I was just more quiet. I wish I didn't say anything at all. I think there is power in silence. So that'd be like the only time that's probably the only thing I would do, because I was so routined, and I was just so, you know, locked into like the preparation and the process of things. And I feel like as I was going up and down, I maintained that, you know, regardless if I was in the big leagues or AAA. And that's the most important thing, right? To be able to say, hey, I prepared for the day, and I was very consistent with that.
You said there's power in silence. There's power in results too. So when you win Player of the Week, you know what? You gotta That speaks loud enough for yourself. But I want you to take me to the series against the Dodgers. Like when people looked at it, when we looked at it ahead of time, it was like, ooh, this is lopsided. But the Reds got Hunter Green going. Ooh, looking back at it, you go, man, that was kind of lopsided. But the 8th inning, you guys were making a run. What was that feeling like in the moment before you guys got into the series? I've never met a big leaguer who's like, this team's better than us. We got no chance. So I'm not expecting that from you, but I'm expecting, like, what did you guys look? How did you guys look at it beforehand? And then also take me to, like, when you guys were making that run and you were showing the rest of the world, hey, the Dodgers have a little bit of a shaky underbelly of their bullpen.
Yeah, I think one, like you were saying, we kind of exposed some things. I feel like with bullpen in that series, but I think when we went into it, it was like we're playing with house money, right? Nobody had even expected us to be here, and we had an incredible run at the end of the year to put us in that position that we were in. And so I know that when we were going into it, we wholeheartedly knew that when we played our type of baseball, it didn't really matter who we were playing. We had a fair shot to win. And like you said, we had HG on the mound, our guy who'd been, posting and putting up all season. And so we went into that whole series very much confident, in our ability to shake the world, and actually take that series. As you saw, what had happened, that wasn't necessarily the case, unfortunately. But we got we got it going, in both of those games. I feel like later in the game, also outstanding performance by Yamamoto on that second game. But even when he came out, we started to really get some things, cracking in the later innings. And, we started to smell blood in the water. But they just found their way to trickle out of it and take the series from us.
Roki Sasaki, man, talk a little about him. Did you prepare for him? This guy, I mean, absolutely, absolutely filthy pitcher.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that situation.
Yeah, I really had only seen him maybe once or twice, on MLB Network or whatever throwing. So I wasn't too familiar with his arsenal until that game. We faced him, and Jesus, that was impressive. And then I've actually been pretty tuned in to the postseason this year as opposed to other ones, and I've been particularly watching the Dodgers. And to see him come into these games, I think he had a little bit of a scuffle. I want to say it was his last one or second to last outing, but he's good and dominant with his secondary, and then his fastball is 100. So you got you got to go up there with an approach. If you're anywhere hesitant on what you want, you're out. If he's honestly, even if you are aggressive and he executes, you're probably out. So you're gonna have a tough at bat. That I'll just leave it at that. I mean, he's incredible. I mean, shoot, you could really, Dave Robertson, he just has so many cards to play with, right? I mean, this guy was a starter and he's closing games with ease. So if I was, if I'm Dave, I'm like, man, I really have so many tools and so many options to use, and it's really neat when you have, him in your bullpen.
You said neat, kind of like, oh, that's neat. They get all these guys. Do you feel like it's kind of like, I don't want to say unfair because that's misleading or that's leading you, but do you feel like it's like, man, why do these guys just keep getting all this stuff out here? Because you guys got a great pitching staff. You guys, your team pitches really well. I thought your offense should have been better than they were this year. It didn't come around like I thought. But, like, do you look over at the Dodgers in a series like that before the game, before the series, or even after, and go, that kind of sucks. They just kept bringing dudes out of the bullpen.
This is why I love baseball as opposed to any sport there is. You can have the best players and still lose. it's just they were playing at all cylinders. Like they were playing at the peak of their ability, and obviously when they do that, they are the best. But again, like I said, when we play at our best, we can really beat anybody. And that's why I love baseball. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, how strong you are, how little you are, how fast you throw. You have an opportunity to win. Obviously, when you have an incredible skill set and incredible talent, those chances are slightly higher. Yeah, but any day of the week you could lose, like, or you could win. So I don't ever look over at the other dugout in any type of intimidation or why did they get all of these players. I think those players earn that right, earn that money, get that bread. Happy for you. And yeah, they're going to be good for a long time, for sure.
All right, you're watching the postseason. What are you seeing? Oh, did you get a call? Tell them you're calling back. Tell them you're calling back. You're back. What do you see in this postseason? You hearing us, Will? All right, we'll wait for the call.
I like Erik hosting. I want Erik to host.
He'll be a great host.
I think he would.
It would go off the rails. It would go off the rails. I would lose.
Oh, you wouldn't? You'd have me by your side. I'd
yeah,
help you
Todd's
out,
there.
Oh,
there we go. Will's
My
back.
bad. My mom was calling me. I should have put my phone do not disturb, but
You're good. She's like, hey, I see you on TV.
Probably won't work. It probably won't work with mom dudes.
Yeah, your mom will be like, she'll hit the notify anyway button, and you'll be like,
yeah, she might call
bust
again. To
through
be
it somehow.
honest. She might call again.
She might have. Does she still have you on screen limits? Like, does she still have your screen time limits on your phone, or have you graduated away from that?
No.
But if she gets the do you still want to notify? Yeah, I made him notify. I don't care.
Yeah.
Notify
Well, it's funny.
anyway.
She's calling me because she wants to see my children. So it's not even for me. That's funny
fair.
part.
They don't have
You
phones.
give them grandkids, you become second. They still love you,
Right.
but I feel it. I feel you. All right, you've been watching the postseason. You've been
Yeah,
watching
man.
the postseason. What do you got for us? We just had Kevin Pillar on here. He's like, dude, nothing's crazy about this series anymore. The Blue Jays are going to finish it in 6. The Dodgers, what do you have? What do you see from this postseason that you're like, I love that? And what do you see going forward?
Honestly, I love what the game is just because of how, like, competitive. Like I said, this is my first time really watching it just because I was in it. And I love how competitive it is. I love, honestly, it's a little bit more offensive, if you guys can see. And it's incredible because I feel like the pitching is so good. But yet we see these, like the game last night where Toronto put up, an incredible amount of, honestly, the last 3 games, I think that they've outscored their team, Seattle, like 21-6 or something crazy like that. I just love and I love the ins and outs of the games and the approaches. And so it's cool to see, especially from Toronto, these past 2 games. It's just to see how they've been able to execute their approach against really good pitching. It's something that I'm learning, and you can see the consistency from the at bats. How it really is. I think Springer said it in his interview last night. It's the next man up mentality. But within that, you can see how they really are working at bats, to collectively get, a surplus of runs in 1 inning. And the other series is with Dodgers and Brewers. I honestly, I want to see the Brewers do it, to be honest, and they're getting kind of smacked around a little bit, rightfully so. I mean, the Dodgers are playing incredible, and they how it is in the playoffs. If you're hot and you're hitting on all cylinders, everything's going right for you. That's what it looks like for the Dodgers too. Everything's going right for them, and I think in the end, I do believe it'll be I do believe it'll be Blue Jays and the Dodgers in the end. There's no way the Brewers come back, right? That'd be history, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. Yeah,
it's happened
history.
once. 04 Red
Oh,
Sox. You were probably a little tyke, but yeah, 41 opportunities. It's happened 1 time with a comeback, and that was the 2004 Red Sox. You were probably quite young at that time.
Yeah, I don't even. What year was that again? You said?
2004. What
Four.
year were you born?
Yeah, I was 1998. So yeah, I was a pup. Yeah,
Yeah, you
19.
were
I was a pup.
you were a little 6-year-old,
Yeah.
but otherwise that's never happened. So I'm
Yeah,
with
so
you.
that, yeah, but yeah, it's canned for them. GGs. So it's gonna be the Dodgers for sure, and then like I said, it's gonna be a tough one between. I mean, because Seattle's really good, right? Their pitching's excellent, but like I said, even with the great pitching, man, I've just seen the Blue Jays really just put together good at bat after good at bat after good at bat. So and I think Castillo was throwing last night, and that's their guy, right? That's their number one, and they put it on him. So. I do think Seattle will answer back. I think they play tonight, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Next one tonight. Yeah, it's 2-2, game 5. They keep going. Bryce
Yeah.
Miller is pretty good. They got 4 good starters over there. I
Exactly.
mean, technically 5 if Brian Wu is healthy and might appear for them. So
Exactly. I do think Seattle will take tonight. I mean, that'd be incredible if the Blue Jays can win 3 straight in Seattle. But again, they have to go back to Toronto in this tough environment, fun environment for sure, but it's a tough one. So they have their hands full.
well, so you said you're watching a lot of postseason games. When you watch, like approach wise, certain players, what do you see, and do you say, okay, what do the Reds need to do to get to that point, right? Because now the team got to the postseason. What do they need to do to be, a Final Four type team?
Yeah. I believe it has to be. I think when pitching is so good in the postseason, right? You have to teeth and claw for runs. Because defense is going to win you championships, and I do think we played. I think we had a few errors, but I think we had an error that might have cost us. But think about Teoscar's error that he had the first game, right? We have got to capitalize on that situation and put up, 3 from that mistake. Because you can never get comfortable with just 1 run or 2 runs. And I believe I don't think we ever took the lead in any of those games. But as you can see, it was a shootout, man. It was who could put up, the most runs against tough pitching. And like I had mentioned already about the Blue Jays, I mean, even the Dodgers are doing it as well. Like you can see they tack on runs in bunches low key, right? I mean, they had a tight one, I think it was game 2. But they put up 5 runs, you got to answer back. And so how do you answer back? You collectively put together great at bat after great at bat against A-plus pitching.
I'm going to give you a little praise, but I'm also going to give myself a little praise here. I was a 1,000-point scorer in high school basketball. I'm sure you were too. I want to ask you a question because I knew you were supposed to go to Duke to play baseball and basketball. Like, you still got a little b-ball skills in you? Do you play in the off season? Anything? Can we meet up and try and get a little 5-on-5 going, kid? Let's go.
Yeah, no, I would love to. I need it because I feel like the agility that you get from just playing is the best, for your body. Yeah, I still hoop. It's funny, my son is starting to get into basketball, so we got a little hoop in the backyard. I shoot all the
Nice.
time. You can raise it up and lower it down whenever you want. So look, man, if you ever out here in Arizona or I'm ever where you are,
Yeah.
just hit my phone. I'm itching to play.
They used to call me the mound rounder rebound. I'm just saying. They used to call me Sir Charles. That's all. I'm just letting you know.
Well, in my competitive spirit, that strikes no fear in me. So if you'd like to play,
Nor should it.
I'm
Nor
here.
should it.
I'm here.
Oh,
Will.
Crash shaking his head. Why?
Ain't nobody ever called him no nicknames other than the
They
Todd
did.
Father or
Todd Father.
Yo,
Hey.
give me a ball.
Crazy story. Not really crazy, but when you won the home run derby, I was there. I was in that junior home run derby watching. Yeah.
Oh, man. I didn't
So
know
that's
that.
incredible. That was my first time hearing the Todd Father chants and all that. It was crazy, man. I was there.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah.
linked in a unique way. Yeah.
That's cool. That's
That
during
is
the
cool.
breaks. That's always fun too when they do the high school kids battling
Yes.
in the breaks
Yes.
during the derby.
That
Yeah.
is cool,
Yeah.
man.
That's cool.
Now he's
Sick.
playing
All right,
in
Will,
the stadium.
last one. Now, there might not be Pop-A-Shot there, so if you want to play basketball, I can play basketball against you. I'll beat you in Pop-A-Shot, but Playmaker's classic. Like,
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, what that means and to you, and like just some of the stuff that goes on? I think the one year where there was Papa Shot, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Yes. So the Players Trust next year is actually their 30th anniversary of their establishment, and it's been such a blessing because not only myself but other players in the league benefit from the Players Trust. It is where they help us with our initiatives in our hometowns and our nonprofits and things that we do. And they also have events of their own, that we attend, and we have an impact in the communities in the cities that they visit. So, like you see on the screen there, the Playmakers Classic is on the 18th. And it's really just an opportunity for you to meet people within the trust, meet other players who have nonprofits. And actually, cool story. There was somebody from Georgia that I didn't even realize that they were so closely knitted to people I knew in Georgia, and we did an event together, and it was incredible. So it's a great networking opportunity if you ever want to explore, those nonprofit adventures. And it's cool too because it's not just for us players. There's an opportunity for fans, philanthropists, and even business leaders who want to get involved, with the Players Trust. So it's a great event as well if you guys want to attend.
That's a great call because we often talk about the entertainment component. Hey, you get to hang with players. They're there. They're enjoying the night, right? It's very casual for everybody to have conversations, but the networking part too, right? If you have, if you're charitable, you have initiatives, you want to talk to the guys about what they're doing, like that is the forum to do it. So good call.
Yes.
Will, great to see you, man. Really appreciate the insight and enjoy the off season. It goes quick, as you know it.
Of course. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Great weekend. I'm glad to spend some time with you guys today. It was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. You're the man. Thanks, Will. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.
And a reminder to everyone, 4th Annual Playmakers Classic that Will was referring to. He'll be there. Buy your tickets today, playerstrust.org. Like he said, celebrating 30 years of player-powered impact. We love what they're doing, and we appreciate a lot of the players and the nonprofits that they have and giving a little love. On February 18th in downtown Phoenix. FT fam, be right back talking about Tarik Skubal. All right, BetMGM locks. Let's get ready. Kratz fell. AJ had a nice parlay hit with Glasnow strikeouts and the game going over with the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Same here. There's been some offense in Seattle these last couple days compared to what you usually get there. We'll take it. We'll take it.
All day, baby.
Yeah. Updated money bags for you.
Yikes.
This is why the postseason's tough. It's not just that you have so little to choose from for a lock, but
that's true.
You also reset the dough.
Yeah, and there's only one game to choose from sometimes. Now, tonight, there's 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What game are you picking?
I'm actually doing a parlay for the first time this whole year.
Wow.
And it's on the run line, both -1 and a hook. So the hot teams, the Toronto Blue Jays, got to win by 1.5, and the Dodgers got to win by 1.5. And I think that's at +4 something. I am betting
389 plus 389. No. Sorry, that's Paps. Plus 435.
Plus 435. So I'm going 400 to win 1740. I think it is 1740. Wow. 4 to win 1740. Let's go have some fun. This beat is sick. Here we go.
And in the last night matchups, they both cleared that run line.
I know, so they'll both lose and lose by 2. No, the other two.
Hey, there's no way to predict these ones. That's why it's fun. Kratz, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to tell everybody that I went with the under because I have no idea why I keep missing. But I want everybody to know that I think the over is going to hit, but I went with the under to fade myself. So if you've been making a ton of money this year on fading me, I don't know if that's going to help you or not. But I'm going under 7 with the Gausman and Bryce Miller game. The wind's blowing in. Could be a tough night to hit the ball out of the ballpark. So that means Seattle probably won't score.
Wow. Okay. I'm fading the fade.
Oof.
Does
that's
that
not
mean
my
you're
fade. Yeah, right. Fade the fade to the fade. All right, I'll do mine after, but I see what you're saying. So you're going against the fact that there's been high run scoring the last couple of days. You think it'll now change?
And the ball's been jumping, and it was supposed to be favoring hitters, and now it's shifted tonight, and so they're saying it might not favor the hitters.
Hot corner time, just a couple minutes, like one quick thought each. John Heyman writing about how Skubal has a big gap between what he's thinking and what the Tigers are thinking. Evan Petzold in the Detroit Free Press also wrote about it and said that John Heyman goes $250 million apart in negotiations. Estimated was that the Tigers offer after the 24 season, and the projection that Skubal will command at least $400 million free agency following 2026. In his story, Evans, he said it might even be $300 million apart. I mean, that's a lot to be apart on. So it sounds like they might trade him. You going to let him go into his last year?
I mean, you're usually right on these things, but if I'm the Tigers, I'm trying anything I can do to keep this guy. He's been a staple. He's an incredible left-handed pitcher. He's ridiculously good. This could leave a bad taste. You know how this goes, especially with Boris clients, man. Like, they know he knows what they should be getting, and he's not going to steer away from telling them this is what it is and see what happens. But it makes me nervous because, you know, this is one of the bigger names after next year, right, that might be on the market. If not, yeah, they trade you. I mean, I don't think they should. I think they should find any which way to keep this guy in this team.
Kratz, they can afford him, of course, but I do think you have a little bit of like where the Mets went last offseason, not spending hundreds of millions on starters, and the Skubal side's like, oh, hey, have you been watching the playoffs?
I don't know. $250 million apart on a pitcher's contract. What pitchers are making over $250 million?
Not many.
Yoshinobu, Yamamoto. That is it. Sorry, they weren't $250 million. This is, I'm going to say, fake news. That's my whole reaction to it. Because Boris doesn't even, a team would be asinine to think that Boris is going to sign an early extension. So don't offer him anything. Don't give him anything to like take and say, okay, well, I'll go and do this. Like, I have a hard time believing the Tigers were that naive to think that Boris would accept an extension. And then the fact that they're $250 million apart, I don't know. I'm not buying it. And there's no reason to. You still got him. He's pitching for your team. He's going to hit free agency. He's earned that. Go bid for him in free agency. But 250 apart, what did they offer? 20 million and Boris wanted 270? Like, I don't think so.
Is it 250 and they want 500? I don't know. We're gonna have plenty of time to talk about this in the offseason.
I just don't think so.
I know. You know, I'm kind of like,
Fake news.
Let's play out the postseason and then we can dissect.
I love you, John Heyman, but
What's up, FT Nation? It's your boy Parlay Pap coming to you on this beautiful Friday. Yeah, we making them fans of FT money with BetMGM. We love you. Thank you for all the money, BetMGM. Parlay Pap loves you. Let's get another one in. My bets today, I don't know, man. It's pretty simple to me. The Blue Jays and the Mariners been banging out runs. Blue Jays been covering the over by themselves lately, so I'm taking the over in that. And the damn Brewers have got to at least make this competitive, at least going to win one game. It is hard to sweep a 4-game set against a team that's won almost 100 games this year. So I got to take the Brewers at plus 165. We're going to parlay them together. We had another plus 380 something, 389, I think, banger, and we're going to put 100 on it. and we're going to hit another parlay again. Let's get that Friday weekend cheese, baby.
Nice, Pap. Post-workout parlay, Pap. Bringing it. I'm going to jump into the NLCS and throw a little curveball. I'm going to take a nerfy. Dodgers and Brewers. Brewers actually going with a real starter. Jose Quintana knows how to get 3 outs to start a game. I think Shohei Ohtani will do the same. I think it was a little bit warmer than I thought it would be. Right? It's 130 to win a hundo, but I thought it would be closer to 140, 150 with Ohtani on the mound on the other side. So I'm going to put a little 260 piece to win 200 on that one and see what happens on no runs in the first. You had the last 2 games, it was a Yerfy. Yep. Last 2 games, we've had run scoring in the first, and a lot of the National League games have had early action. But I think this will be one that goes against the grain. So you got a nice variety of options if you want to tail anyone or fade anyone. Good luck to you. BetMGM players, you get yourself an MLB postseason odds boost token over on BetMGM.com or on the app. You attach that to your bet slip, activate the token, and if you win, obviously you get yourself a little extra winnings. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hey, let's slap. Todd Father and I worked really hard for 15 seconds to do an Instagram story on the Foul Territory Instagram account. You can vote for which team you think is going to represent the AL in the World Series. Currently, it's 53% Jays, 47% Mariners. It is close.
Yep, like it's been.
Mr. Kratz?
Oh, team that needs to just watch what's going on. Watch how the Dodgers have built what they've built and stop being a small market team. Small, just get after it. Your team is there to win. That's what the Red Sox do.
Don't sleep on the Zach Scott interview if you want to watch it back on YouTube, or we'll post it podcast-wise on Monday morning, where he said he used to work for Red Sox owner John Henry. He said he used to be balls to the wall, but now he thinks the playoffs are a crapshoot. Those were his words.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
Bold
really?
Statement.
You just throw darts at a dartboard. Oh, Dodgers won. They just keep getting that dart.
Darts being thrown now.
Yeah.
Even with teams not in the playoffs. Hey, enjoy some wonderful baseball tonight.
Mm-hmm.